So, Ginger,
Yeah?
you know how we wanted to start a podcast, but we were having trouble coming up with a topic?
Yeah?
Okay, so here's my pitch. The topic of the podcast is us trying to come up with the topic for the podcast.
What, like we pitch each other podcast ideas and that's the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We could call it, What Should Our Podcast Be About?
Miles, that's really stupid. Let's do it.
What should this song be about? I'm trying to figure it out. What should this song be about? Could you perhaps help me out? I've had a moment of doubt. What should this song be about? Welcome to What Should Our Podcast Be About? The podcast where we try to figure out what this podcast that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm Miles Grover.
And I'm Ginger Barham.
I have a few updates
Okay.
from previous episodes.
Okay.
A few episodes ago, we were talking about that chicken to ride commercial thing that you remember.
Uh-huh.
And I did a little searching for it. I did not find it, but I did find other people talking about the same commercial, saying the same thing. So it must have existed in some form or other. But I couldn't find anything more about it.
Thank you for corroborating my story, Internet.
Yes. I found a BMW commercial where they wave a chicken at the camera for a while. Basically.
No. Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was a commercial for.
Yeah. But so that does exist. So if anyone finds that, let us know.
Yeah.
I believe I said He Has the Whole World in His Pants was the title of the book and song, but I believe it's actually He's Got the Whole World in His Hands and Pants.
Oh, right.
I just was listening to it and I was like, right. Oh, I said that wrong. So correction there.
Okay.
And then I have this little treat from Svetlana. She has gone through the past several episodes, questions on Spotify, and answered them.
Oh, what are we in for?
It turns out there's a limit on how much you can write in a comment, and my question asked for a 500-word essay, and the limit is less than 500 words. So she just texted her 500-word essay to me. However, it's actually 400 words. She gave up at 400 words, and the last word was just there to hit 400. So you'll I guess experience that when we get to the end. But
are you going to read a 400-word essay right now?
I am. I'm going to read this.
All right.
So strap in, everybody. The question was, please write a 500-word essay about the meat tank from our Heathcliff episode.
Right.
So Svetlana says, I don't know what a meat tank is, but yes, I believe this because meat is meat and a tank is a tank. What kind of tank, you ask? I don't know. I don't think anyone does. That's the beauty of the meat tank. It can be whatever you imagine. A fish tank with a price, it says a price of Spam, but I think a piece of Spam is probably what she meant. A fish tank with a piece of Spam in it? Sure. A sensory deprivation tank with a cow in it? Why not? The meat tank is a concept of imagination. It can be whatever you would like. This is why the meat tank is so awesome, because it can be custom fit to your interests. For example, what if you are a vegan? That's fine. The meat tank can be made with plant meat. What if you are anti-glass? That's also fine. The meat tank can be made with plastic. An interesting thing about the meat tank is that there isn't a Wikipedia page on it. Additionally, the meat tank can become conscious and make you the next meat. Interesting, right? Also, the meat tank concept originated in Hawaii, but then when the meat tankians conquered the Netherlands, the concept of a meat tank spread until it eventually reached the Queen of England, where she made the famous law in 1324 saying that everyone had to think about the meat tank at least 3 times a day, although this was later repealed in 1978. Who was the inventor of the meat tank, you ask? Well, it was Watito Jojo Siwa that invented the concept of a meat tank, although some people argue that a woman named Guacamole of Chad did a lot of the work, although it hasn't been proven. An interesting fact about the meat tank is that it has been known to kill people with names starting with the letters A, B, she just typed all the letters on the keyboard.
Okay. We were just working on our word count.
100% of the time. The meat tank is also a highly sought after sponsor since everyone it sponsors becomes highly successful. The meat tank has sponsored people such as Snoop Dogg, Mr. Beast, Jojo Siwa, Taylor Spears, and Jack the Ripper. Another thing about the meat tank, I don't know if she knows that Taylor Spears is not a real person or if she did that on purpose or not.
I don't know what.
It's supposed to be Taylor Swift and Britney Spears, right?
Oh.
Taylor Spears, I assume. Okay. But I don't know if she did that on purpose or not. Taylor Spears and Jack the Ripper. Another thing about the meat tank is that if you approach it without a sacrifice, it will eat you. And yes, that does mean that Snoop Dogg is a murderer. Also, She also doesn't know that Snoop Dogg did go on trial for murder. Also, in Japanese legend, the holy meat of the meat tank is said to bring eternal life. In conclusion, the meat tank is awesome. Spelunking, of course, to get that final word.
Right.
So, I hope you enjoyed that.
I didn't.
Oh, well.
I did. I did actually really enjoy that.
It was kind of fun. I definitely had a period in my young teen years where I would write stuff like that for sure. So it's a natural part of life, I guess.
She's definitely your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had a little bit of a like LOL spork feel to it, but
exactly.
You know, that's part of being a teenager,
a tween,
I think.
I guess.
A tween.
Is that what you are when you're 12?
Early teen.
Yeah. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Shall we do...
I mean, I am thankful that she didn't go for 500 words.
We couldn't have taken another 100 words.
Yeah,
that's fine. I brought it on ourselves, I guess, by asking for that.
You brought all of this on us, really.
Yes, I did. That's true. Okay, so shall we do the podcast that we're doing?
Yes.
Where we talk about podcast ideas.
I guess we could do that.
That's my smart idea for this one. Is we should do the podcast.
Is we do a podcast where we do a podcast is your idea this week?
Yes. I mean, that's my suggestion.
Okay.
It's not my idea as far as the podcast goes.
Okay.
Can we say the word podcast any more times? Do you have ideas?
I have lots of ideas. But for podcasts specifically?
That would be ideal, yeah.
I have a few.
Okay. Do you want to start with one?
I have kind of like little vague zygotes of ideas this week.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I'm, as usual, very sleep deprived. I think we should just revisit our Help Us Name Our Skeleton podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by help us, you mean we'll brainstorm it some more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the audience can vote.
Okay.
On what the best ideas are.
Okay.
This might just be an excuse to say, like, we might call our skeleton Boney Soprano.
Boney Soprano, I guess, is the leading candidate right now.
Yeah.
Ginger doesn't like Skeletal Walter anymore. She doesn't think it's approachable enough when telling the neighbors what the name of our skeleton is.
We want our skeleton to be approachable. Yeah. It's important.
Well, not too approachable because kids keep knocking the hand off of it.
Yeah.
But
despite the sign.
Despite the sign which says, no more high fives, I've suffered enough.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Maybe people are taking it as an invitation. Like, maybe they were like, well, I wasn't thinking about high-fiving it, but now I am.
Well, it happened twice before I put the sign on, so I think it was already a problem.
Yeah.
One problem with this idea, which I feel like you should have thought about, is that we went to dinner the other day, and you were like... talking about what should our skeleton be named, and
you just stared at me through.
We both kind of just sat there staring off into space, thinking of skeleton names.
Yeah,
and that is not probably very good audio.
Well, we don't have to brainstorm the ideas during the episode. We can come with the ideas, and then maybe some more will come as we're talking.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be better brainstorming because it will require us to be talking.
Maybe.
Be like, tibia, is there anything we can do with tibia? Ulna, is there anything we can do with ulna?
Right. Which, by the way, I did suggest ideas for both of those last time.
Yes. Ulna Thurman and Otibia Newton-John, which are both also excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, they're no Boney Soprano.
Well, I don't know if I might like them better, but it's fine.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
You're the one that got me on board with Boney Soprano.
Yeah, I mean, Boney Soprano's all right. I don't know. We can think about this.
Because I kind of thought Boney Mitchell was where it was at, but...
Yeah, I know. Well, to be honest, am not terribly excited about continuing to brainstorm skeleton name ideas.
Well, I had a lack of ideas this week, so.
That's fine. But I would say let's put a pin in that. We can come back to it if we don't end up with a better idea. So noted, I guess.
Okay.
Skeleton name ideas.
One of those like pins that you use to like fix knees. One of those kind of pins.
Fix knees?
Like when people have like pins in their legs.
Like if your hip broke or something?
Yeah, like bone pins.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I was just imagining putting a pin in it like a butterfly in one of those cases full of pinned butterflies and then closing the case and putting it in the closet.
So when you were saying put a pin in it, you were really going, let's put this in the closet and not talk about it anymore.
I was hoping upon hope that we would have a better idea. So, on that note, I guess I should give an idea. Let's see. This one is just a similar idea to one we talked about last week that we didn't quite think of, which I think would be maybe could be kind of cool, which is we had the idea about watching the final season of a show or watching a show backwards or whatever. I was thinking, what if we watched the first and last episodes of a show? And then try to fill in everything that happened in between.
Okay.
That could be kind of fun.
That could be kind of fun.
I feel like it's probably, again, not one we could really do, like on the podcast, but we could do it outside the podcast maybe and see how it goes.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun and a time saver, honestly. We don't have a lot of time to watch TV, so.
Yeah, right. We just skip the middle part. All meat, no filler.
We watched that show-ish.
Yeah. We know what happened. We know what the inciting incident was and what the final
the ending was shocking, honestly.
I had no idea that would happen. Or what if we watch it and it was exactly what we expected?
Yeah.
Like that seems like that's maybe a bad show.
Yeah.
Or maybe there were a lot of twists and turns in the middle and it just got back to where you expected.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to try it out and see how it goes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of Game of Thrones. What would it be like if you just watched the first episode, the last episode? You'd probably be like, who are all these people?
Right. Because there's like hardly any people left from the first. Because the first episode is like Ned Stark talking to Jon Snow and the other Stark boys about like winter is coming or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big part of like the very first episode. And then those probably aren't even really in the last episode. Maybe Jon Snow is, but
yeah,
Ned Stark obviously isn't because
I know what would happen if you watched the first episode of Game of Thrones and the last episode of Game of Thrones. You'd be like, well, I guess the show is just really, really bad.
Yeah. I don't know if you would think the last episode is really bad without knowing why it's so dumb, right?
Yeah.
You would assume that there was some reason that it made sense.
Yeah.
Right? That might actually make the show better.
It actually might. You know what? You're right. It might be better.
Right? Because the ending sucked because it completely didn't.
Oh, it sucked for so many reasons.
Well, but I mean, the main thing was that like Daenerys went just crazy for no reason, and they didn't really even lead up to it in the final season, let alone the whole show. And
Cersei died in a really stupid, depressing way.
Yeah, like it all was stupid. But I think you would assume that there must have been some good buildup. Also, you wouldn't know who any of those characters were. Well, Cersei was probably maybe in the first episode, but Daenerys probably wasn't, right?
I don't remember. I don't feel like she was.
I don't feel like we get to Daenerys till a couple episodes in, maybe, or something. I could be wrong about that. But what are some other shows that could be good to do that with, though? Like shows we haven't seen.
Shows we haven't seen?
Like hyped up shows maybe that we just never got around to watching. I mean, we haven't seen House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
right?
We could do that one.
I guess we do that. I don't know if that's over. I assume that's not over yet, though.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And there's a Lord of the Rings show we didn't get around to watching as well.
Yeah, there's a new Star Wars show.
Oh, there's several new Star Wars shows, or several Star Wars shows we haven't watched, right?
Yeah.
Although I wonder if those will be good candidates because they're kind of in a universe we kind of already know about and stuff.
I feel like we're going to have the same problem with this as what you talked about before, where it's like, if it's a show we want to watch, then we're just ruining it for ourselves.
Well, I do think that it might be like still a good candidate might be like an anime like One Piece or something, right? And in this case we don't even have to watch a whole season, we have to watch 2 episodes, right? So it's not as big of a commitment.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that, or some other random anime, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that is about as much anime as I feel like I could handle.
I was thinking about it.
Like, no offense to anybody who likes anime. It's just not my thing.
Well, I mean, you like Miyazaki movies.
Yeah, but that's different.
I guess movies are kind of different than anime shows.
Yeah.
Sort of. But anyway, so I don't know. We could think about that some more. Maybe we can look around for shows to potentially watch and maybe move on to another idea.
I did not write down my ideas this week.
Oh, that seems like a good idea.
Well, it's because I came up with them while I was putting Rory to bed and I couldn't grab my phone for fear of waking him up. And then I fell asleep before I could jot them down. So you should give another one of your ideas and come back to me.
Okay. All right. Well, a few weeks ago, we had talked about doing Taco Tuesday, right? Was that what it was? Or something like that, where we go to different taco restaurants every week.
in the area.
Yeah.
A very, very niche podcast.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe slightly less niche, I guess, a podcast where we try to visit every restaurant in the city.
Every restaurant.
Every single restaurant. Like, obviously not. Obviously, it would take a long time, right? But we would just every week have to go to a different restaurant.
Okay.
And I don't know. I feel like that could be interesting. Like, there's like obviously the content of what's the restaurant like and did we like the food and whatever, but there's also kind of a meta level of like, how are we going to figure out what every restaurant is?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I heard that restaurant's going to close. We better go there before it closes or
Well,
whatever, stuff like that. I don't know.
this is also an interesting idea because I feel like I'm always the one that wants to go out to eat and you're always the one that wants to order in.
That's true.
So I'm not sure you want to sign up for this.
I would say ordering in counts as well. Or it could be another separate
But you
idea.
can't review the restaurant fully very well if you order in because like the food may not travel as well. Like,
it's true. It's true. But I mean, a lot of people do order a lot of food in, so it's still a valid thing to talk about.
It is, but I feel like it's a separate.
Yeah. Okay.
thing.
So maybe sometimes we order in and
Yeah.
talk about it like that, or maybe we do two different, or maybe it's a different thing where we just order in. Maybe it's everything that we. It would be more doable because there's a smaller amount probably of restaurants within a delivery range than within a like. Well, I don't know. I guess if we're doing like within Albany city limits or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that would be bigger than the
Yeah.
delivery range, maybe.
I'm very excited, by the way, because there's a new place that's opened up down the street from us that is food and beer and I don't know, drinks, I guess, and records.
Oh, okay.
And it's called Larkin Hi-Fi.
Okay, that's cool.
It is finally open. I've been waiting for it to open. It's literally like a block away from us. So pretty cool. So maybe that should be our first restaurant.
Okay. So that was another idea. Another one where I don't know if we would, I guess we could just talk about what the format would be like where we would start, how would we decide what order to do them in and stuff like that. I don't know how entertaining that would be, but it might be something to talk about.
All right. It's an idea.
Do you have any ideas that you have thought of that you remembered?
Yes. Well, it's Pride Month.
Okay.
So
We did go to the Pride Parade on
we
this
did.
weekend.
We went to Pride this weekend. It literally rained on our parade,
Did rain quite a bit.
but we still had a great time. And my idea is kind of a vague one, but I have a title for it,
Okay.
which is That's So Gay.
Okay.
And the premise is basically we just take things and try to figure out how can we make this gayer.
Okay.
So we have a bit of a gay agenda.
Okay. Do you have an idea, an example of something that like could be gayer, and what we would do to make it gayer?
Like unicorns. Is it possible to make them gayer?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe not.
I mean, I feel like unicorns and gayness is kind of a little bit like that They Might Be Giants song Particle Man.
Yeah.
When he's underwater, does he get wet or does the water get him instead? It's like, could unicorns get more gay or would gays get more unicorn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a very, I don't know, a dynamic there where it's like kind of hard to say one is more the other one. Or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
So maybe that's a bad first choice.
I mean, I say this as a straightish person who loves unicorns.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Straight-ish.
Straightish, vaguely straight-ish.
Yeah.
Mostly straight in experience, at least.
Yeah.
But and I love unicorns, and I have been thought to be gay a number of times in my life, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. Like that would be a tough one, I think.
Yeah.
What about more like mundane stuff, like
Toast.
Can toast be gay? Toast.
How
be
could
gayer?
we make toast more gay?
Now I wonder.
Rainbow butter?
Rainbow butter. I wonder if we would. I feel like we'd have to sort of walk a fine line of like stereotyping and like what does it actually mean to be gay.
I did think about this. My idea was sort of like to keep it in a like lighthearted vein.
Right.
Like,
Well, I think it wouldn't be too hard to avoid the kind of like, oh, I know how, you just put it in your butt or something, right? Like that's one way we could go, and I think we probably wouldn't have too much trouble avoiding that. But like, I feel like there's
this would be more about like hopefully like celebrating gay culture and
yeah.
musical theater and
Yeah, I guess another
all
problem.
of those things.
Another problem is that I don't know if you and I are that well versed in gay culture, like at least in terms of like big cultural signifiers and stuff. Obviously, like as you're bi and I'm not totally straight or whatever, but like I don't know, I don't hang out with a ton of people that are super into gay stuff or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't watch, Drag Race or I don't know, whatever the other things that gay people watch and do and participate in. You know what I mean? Like,
well, maybe Christine would probably be a good special
Christine
guest to
could
have
probably
on
help.
this.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, could be
It could be fun.
Talk about.
Another maybe title for it could be Not Gay Enough.
Not gay enough. Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking like, that's so gay because like I remember kids used to like say that
In a bad way.
way. I feel like it's kind of been reclaimed in recent years.
Yeah. Well, and I think I wouldn't be actually surprised if there is already a podcast about gay stuff that's called that too. So.
I mean, and probably someone who's like more gay than us is probably more qualified to make this podcast.
Yeah.
But it was an idea, so I brought it to the table.
I mean, I guess the first few episodes could be about ourselves. How do we make us gayer?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Although in that case, I feel like if you're talking about people,
I mean, I just like
what. If I wanted, I feel like the most direct way to make myself gayer is to go like make out with some guys or something.
Yeah.
Which I guess I don't know how I would pull that off, I guess.
Well, I mean, you just got to go on dates with guys.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Which wouldn't be that hard to do.
Well, it wouldn't be that hard to do, but it would be a lot of work and it would be a little mean to do to somebody if it's kind of a joke. You know what I mean?
Oh, I wasn't saying do it as a joke.
Well, but I mean, it's like a thing for a podcast where, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to, even if I did it, I don't know if I would necessarily.
I think it's okay to go out on dates with people as long as you're upfront about like, hey, I'm still figuring my stuff out.
Yeah. But like it would be for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So
well, if you were doing it for the
podcast,
that would be a little bit questionable.
Yeah, I guess maybe if we just disclose that.
Yeah.
To begin with, it could be okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were just saying hypothetically, how could you be gayer? So you could get more into musical theater.
Yeah. I don't really see that happen. I think it's much more likely that I would make out with some
Listen
dudes.
to more Cher.
No, I'd rather make out with dudes. Much rather.
Elton John? Could you do more Elton John?
I don't know. I guess Elton John's fine. I'm not a big fan. He's fine though.
Yeah. You could watch more Drag Race.
Yeah. I just like, I guess I'm a little bit hesitant about this because
you gotta be cattier for sure.
Well, because like there are lots of gay people who aren't into that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like, at least for myself, like I don't feel like if I started being in more gay relationships that I would be very likely to suddenly have interest in all these things I'm not particularly interested in.
Yeah.
And so like in a way it feels kind of bad to say like that's gayer than this other thing of when we're talking about different people who are all gay. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it could be kind of an iffy one.
Although there is also the whole be gay, do crimes thing. So I guess we could do some gay crimes to get more gay.
Yeah. What's a gay crime?
Well, a crime committed while being gay, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to do a gay crime. Like that sounds like a hate crime or something.
Yeah,
but
it
like,
does.
I mean, being gay and doing crimes.
Yeah.
Is what I meant. Like, and the kind of crimes I imagine are like property damage and,
So you like go on a date and after dinner you go and like vandalize some cop cars.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
That could be all right, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a good date to me.
Yeah. As long as we don't get caught, I guess. The podcast could also be called Be Gay, Do Crimes.
Yeah. I mean, that'd
be pretty good.
I would listen to that. Any podcast with that title, I would probably click on.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I got one more.
All right. What is your one more?
It's also very vague.
Okay.
I have been going to an exercise class on Mondays.
Okay.
And it sucks, but it's been really good to have the like structure because it forces me to actually exercise because when I'm the only one in charge of me, it's a lot harder for me to make myself exercise.
Sure. Yeah.
But if I paid for a class, then I feel like obligated and I have somebody like walking me through like the exercises that I'm going to do. Anyway, so the idea for the podcast was just like a podcast where we come up with creative ways to like make yourself exercise.
Okay. Other than paying for a class.
Other than paying for a class, yeah.
Okay.
Because I've just been thinking about like how when you go to physical therapy, it's just exercise. It turns out that like most of the time, the problems with your body, what they do to fix them is exercises. And so...
Yeah, I mean, in a broad sense, I feel like a lot of times when you think of exercise, you think specifically of like aerobic exercise. I don't know. Do they do a lot of aerobics with you?
Oh, I'm not doing any aerobics.
Yeah,
No, it's like all strengthening stuff.
Right. And I don't know.
But it's like weights and
lifting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
so wait,
exercise is important for your body to feel good, but it sucks to do.
Especially if you haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
Much in a while.
It's hard to get yourself in the headspace to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that would be the podcast would just be discussing like what are some ways to make ourselves do a thing that we know is good for us, but that's really like mentally hard to want to do.
Yeah. I'm finding just wanting to do that podcast mentally hard to want to do. Like I see where you're coming from with the idea. It doesn't sound very fun to me, I guess.
Yeah. So you're saying that you can't even talk about exercise.
I'm not even wanting to want to exercise, I guess. I mean, no, I do kind of want to exercise, but I don't know. Coming up with ideas about exercise, I don't know. It sounds like a podcast I wouldn't listen to, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about like when I used to go running, the thing that I would like do to make myself like stay motivated to run is like coming up with like putting together a playlist because it's music that I'm not going to listen to any other time but when I'm running, so that my brain has a little like reward for getting to run. It's like for going running, it's like, oh, you get to listen to this fun music that you like, and that makes me want to go do it. So yeah, I just was thinking about like other things like that, other ways that I could trick myself into being like, yeah, exercise is fun and exciting because I feel so much better after I do it. Yeah. But the doing it part, the like getting over the mental like block, I could do that, or I could just sit on the couch and play video games.
Right, sure. Yeah, I have never gotten the like runner's high or whatever. I feel like most of the time, most of my memories of when I've tried to go out and do exercises, like try to get myself to actually do it, all my memories are of doing some exercise and then feeling like I'm going to die and never wanting to do exercise again.
Yeah.
Like, I am not a sports guy at all, but I used to play Ultimate Frisbee in high school, in our high school club for it. And I've enjoyed playing soccer a number of times. Like, I actually find it kind of fun, but then, and I was fine to do it in high school, but that was a while ago. And any times more recently that I've like played soccer with some friends or whatever, it was like I ran around a bit and it was fun. And then like my body was like, what are you doing? We are going to die. Go lie down for 20 minutes.
Well,
just to stop feeling like you're going to die right now.
Right. Well, that is the trick about exercise, though, is that the more that you do it, the less you feel like you're gonna die.
Right.
You do the same exercises for a while, and then those exercises become easy.
Pretty easy. Yeah.
And
yeah, totally.
And then it's like, oh yeah, this is probably good for my body to be able to do these things.
Right. But conversely, the longer you go without doing it, the longer it will take doing it to not feel like you're going to die, which makes you not want to do it. So you don't do it for longer. So it's a kind of a cycle either way. Right?
That's why you work your way up. You don't start on hard mode.
Sure.
Which is why I almost passed out at exercise class last week.
Yeah.
It turns out I took it a lot easier this week.
Yeah.
If I needed lower weights, I went to lower weights and didn't almost pass out. So anyway, we could call it swole.
Getting swole.
Get swole.
Getting swole. Swoletariat.
The swoletariat. Yeah.
That's probably already a thing, but
it's good. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so those are some ideas that we've talked about. After talking about some of those ideas, I actually just want to go back to doing what we did last week, which was come up with more sequels for things that shouldn't have sequels.
Okay.
And I think it would also be funny to do a sequel to an episode about sequels.
Okay. Do you have a movie in mind that you want to come up with a sequel to?
Well, so I was trying to think of like what are some like serious movies that shouldn't have sequels. So I just went and looked at like the list of like Oscar Best Picture winners from the last like 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, this is funny because last week I did almost say Schindler's List.
Yeah. So Schindler's List was
But
one
then I was like, I don't know, maybe we couldn't make that funny.
Yeah, well, and I also have seen Schindler's List, but I don't remember it well enough to be like, and then this guy should come back and do this or whatever.
I have not seen Schindler's List, and that's because I know what Schindler's List is about,
Right.
and I'm never in the mood
Yeah.
where I'm like, that sounds like what I want to do for 3 hours.
Right.
I'm sure it's an excellent movie. I just...
Yeah. So I guess Oppenheimer won this past year or whatever, and that we both watched that on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw that pretty recently, and it's a true story biopic about a guy that's dead and stuff, right? So it wouldn't make a ton of sense to have a sequel.
Right.
So about Oppenheimer Jr. or something. I don't know. It could be a totally silly, like Oppenheimer Jr. Like, do you remember there was a James Bond Jr. cartoon show?
No, I did not remember.
It was dumb
that.
and bad. At least that's my recollection. It was,
I mean, that's what I would imagine it would be.
yeah, but it was like basically a James Bond for kids kind of thing. So we could do like Oppenheimer for kids or something.
Oppenheimer
I don't
for
know.
kids.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So not just sequels, like cartoon versions.
I mean, like
cartoon sequels.
sometimes you do a sequel and it's like
Oppenheimer the musical.
yeah, it's like some totally different thing to try to capture some stupid market
Yeah.
off the buzz of the original thing or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if I have that much to say about that, but that was one idea. Schindler's List was one. Lincoln, I don't know if it won, but it was on the list, and I thought that would be kind of funny
Yeah, because he dies.
because he dies in spoiler alert, Abe Lincoln was assassinated in
Yeah.
1865. There are sort of movies that are kind of like sequels in the vein of what we're talking about, like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Mm-hmm. I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I don't remember if I actually saw it or saw just clips of it, but so there is stuff like that
I read the book.
Okay.
There's a book. You know,
Yeah.
it's based on a book.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
It's like that. I think it's the same author that did like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, sure, yeah. Which I didn't read. And didn't they make a movie of it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I didn't see it or read it, but I did read the Abraham Lincoln one.
No Country for Old Men would be
Okay.
interesting to try to do a sequel of.
Oh, The Road.
Or The Road.
I haven't actually seen the movie. I've only read the book.
Yeah, I read the book. I don't
but-
think I saw the movie of The Road either, but I read the book and saw the movie of No Country for Old Men. And pretty much everybody dies in the movie.
Yeah.
I guess Tommy Lee Jones doesn't die. I guess Anton Chigurh,
I don't remember. Actually, I don't
think
remember it that well.
he doesn't actually die. He gets hit by a car and like limps off or something at the end, but all the main like sort of protagonists pretty much die and stuff. And it's a very serious, it's a great movie, but it's also like not a very happy movie.
Yeah,
I don't
think I remember that one well enough to like come up with a sequel.
Okay. Brokeback Mountain.
I also don't remember that one well enough.
I feel like, do they
I
get,
saw all of these a while ago.
yeah, I mean, a lot of these are from a while ago. Do they just get old and kind of die at the end of that one? I don't know if
Maybe?
they die, but I think they like kind of grow old together-ish. They don't really get together, I don't think. I think I read
sounds right,
the story it was based on too, but yeah, I don't remember, but I don't know. It could be funny to try to come up with a sequel. Because my idea for a lot of these sequels is like the stupid like direct to VHS sequels, just trying to cash in on the like, buzz of the original thing, where it's completely stupid. There could be a dinosaur in this one. You know what I mean? Like
No, I mean, I think it's just we've got to pick a movie that I remember better because I don't remember either of those well enough to like really come up with a sequel. I don't think. What else do you have on the list?
The Sixth Sense.
Okay, that one I could do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually remember exactly what happens in the end. Like, I see dead people. It turns out Bruce Willis has been dead the whole time. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense, but
If you haven't by now, then you're probably not gonna.
yeah.
So,
But I don't quite remember how the plot resolves per se. But I don't know. It could
well,
be
Bruce Willis figures out that he's dead.
right. But like a sequel could be like the kid is older, he still sees ghosts all the time. And
It turns out his mom's been dead the whole time.
Well, I was just gonna say like it's just annoying to him. Maybe I guess it would be a little bit like the show Ghosts,
Yeah.
where the girl like hits her head and now she can see all the ghosts that live in her house and they're mostly just annoying.
Which is great, honestly, because like it does highlight something that you don't think about where it's like, oh, wow, that would be really annoying.
Right. If ghosts were real and they're like all over the place. Also, like, and they explore this in that show Ghosts, where it's like we'll see like some guy whose like head got chopped off by knights a long time ago or whatever, like some guy like in some horrible state of bloody death, and he's like, wait, you can see me? And she's just trying to ignore him while she's talking to some random person who can't see it or doesn't know what's going on. And like that
and they're talking at the same time as the other person is talking.
Right. And so she's trying to filter that out. Yeah. So I don't know. So it could be something like with Haley Joel Osment, like as an older person, still sees ghosts all the time. I don't know what the actual plot would be, but I don't know, it could be something fun there.
Is there anything else that he could see in addition to ghosts?
I see vampires. I see Frankensteins.
What if it's like, it's not just the ghosts of humans that are asking for help. It's like the ghosts of dogs or something.
Okay. I don't know. I like the idea that there's like secret Frankensteins all around that he's somehow seeing.
Okay.
There's just plural Frankensteins by itself is funny to me.
Yeah.
So
that might just be a you thing.
Anything we can build on with Frankensteins or Draculas. I see Draculas.
Could we do a sequel to Frankenstein?
I feel like, well, I guess, I don't know if there have been sequels, right? Bride of Frankenstein and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was thinking sillier.
Yeah.
Could it be Frankenstein's like Frankenstein, like with an apostrophe S? And it's all about Frankenstein's diner.
I don't know if there's... The problem I think with Frankenstein is that it's such an old, well-known property that people have done a ton of parodies and different kinds of stuff with it already. So I don't know that we would have a lot of space to explore that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Another thing on the list was Gandhi, just because I think it's funny to try to make sequels about real people, like biopics of real people that, you know, had a life where they did important things, and then you know, this is about, I don't know, something else that happened to Gandhi later.
Yeah.
That wasn't important enough to be in the original movie. Or it's like a, you know, Mahatma Gandhi vampire hunter kind of thing, or I don't know, something silly there. Another one on my list, or the last one I wrote down, is My Fair Lady. Could be kind of funny to try to do
I did think about that one last time.
Yeah, and I know you remember that one.
Yeah, but I didn't know what we would do with it, really.
Okay, in the sequel, she has to teach somebody who's posh to speak like a Cockney or something.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
That could be fun. I mean, I would probably watch that.
Yeah. My Unfair Lady.
Unfair Lady.
I don't know. Or are there other Audrey Hepburn movies that could be fun? Like Breakfast at Tiffany's? Could that be fun to do a sequel of? What happens at the end of Breakfast at Tiffany's?
After she like puts her cat out of the cab.
Right.
Because he confronts her about how she's afraid to like love anybody or anything. And then she realizes that she wants the cat, and she goes after the cat in the rain and crying, and then they kiss in the rain.
Her and the cat.
Yes, her and the cat.
I don't know what should happen
in my mind, though. Like that love story really is between her and her cat,
right? I don't know what the sequel a sequel to that should be about, but it should be called Lunch at Tiffany's.
Lunch at Tiffany's,
or even maybe Dinner at Tiffany's.
Dinner at Tiffany's. Okay.
I guess we could maybe go for brunch at Tiffany's, but that's very shortly after.
What about brunch at Tiffany's?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we could do as far as a sequel to that. I do remember it well, but I don't really have any great ideas for a sequel.
Okay. What are some other like iconic movies? They don't have necessarily to be serious movies, but like big iconic movies that everybody knows about, right? Like
Casablanca,
that could be interesting. Maybe.
But I don't know if I've actually seen Casablanca aside the ending.
I have seen it, but I don't remember it well enough.
I only remember the ending.
Yeah.
Which is the part everybody knows.
Right.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Okay. I feel like we saw that somewhat recently as well.
Yeah.
So at the end of It's a Wonderful Life,
they all come and
he like is able to.
They give him money.
They give him the money and the bank is saved or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Or the savings and loan or whatever.
Yeah.
There also is an SNL sequel kind of to It's a Wonderful Life where everybody in the town goes and beats the crap out of Mr. Potter or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, maybe something along those lines could be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I would enjoy that. Because he is like the ultra like capitalist, right?
Right. He's terrible. I was thinking, but I feel like if we're going to do a sequel to something like that, we should introduce some crazy shit, right? Like I mean, it already had angels in it, right? So we could do something with angels somehow.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Mr. Potter gets visited by the devil.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he's been working with the devil all along
Yeah.
or something. I was also thinking for some reason I thought of, the Back to the Future 2 where Biff gets the sports book to bet on sports or whatever and goes back in time and now he's like
Yeah.
rich and popular. Like, what if Mr. Potter got access to a time machine somehow, or like time travel could be in it, or I don't know, something silly like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's a Wonderful Caveman Life. They go back in time and have to live in caveman times or something, maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, it's already set in like the 1910s, right? Or 1920s, 1930s. I don't know when it's set.
Somewhere around. Oh, well, no, it's World War II, isn't it? Or it's some war.
1930s?
So that would
It's gonna be like the 1930s.
That'd be the 30s or 40s, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how that impacts them going back to caveman times.
Well, it's just like, I feel like when you get a little bit like further back in time, like it's all just a long time ago to me. So it's like, oh, they traveled back to the 1810s. Okay.
Okay, but caveman times is pretty different.
Yeah, caveman. No, that was the point I was making.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't love caveman times. It sort of seems like it would just turn out like a Flintstones thing or
It's
something.
the wonderful Ice Age. Everybody's frozen except for Mr. Potter. And
I mean, we could do something where like
thaw you out if you pay him.
we could do something where like
No, you don't want to go with that idea? It was so good.
How would you pay him if you were already frozen? What if like I don't know, I guess it would be sort of the same thing, but like George Bailey could get a time machine and go back and like try to fix his ear and try to stop like all the things that happened to him from happening so that he can like have it all or something, and like that could spiral out. And
Yeah. Yeah. It is like so like it's a wonderful butterfly effect.
It's a wonderful butterfly effect. It's a wonderful multiverse. Okay, what if George Bailey...
Okay, so what happens when he goes back and tries to like fix his ear?
Well, his brother dies, right? Because he got the ear problems from saving his brother, right? Which is what the movie was already about, right? Like I realized now that that's kind of what the movie already was, right? It was like he never existed, so all these bad things happened because he wasn't there to do them or whatever. So I don't know, like...
What if he puts on earplugs because he knows he's going to have to save his brother?
Right, yeah, maybe.
And then what are the consequences of that?
Well, that little girl can't like say she loves him in his ear where he doesn't hear it and have that work.
Okay.
Or whatever. Maybe he's probably like less of an empathetic person or whatever, maybe. Because I feel like he's like super empathetic to that guy.
Yeah.
The pharmacist who almost gives somebody the wrong pills or whatever.
It's not particularly funny.
No. It should be
Can
more...
we do a sequel to The Little Mermaid?
Okay. There might be one.
Yeah, but we're going to do our own.
Okay. Little Mermaid. Okay. Interesting. The Big Mermaid.
No, I was just thinking like Ariel's really unhappy because she realizes that she just didn't really know Eric.
Right. He was like the first guy she saw when she came to land.
She's like, I made a mistake. I have to pay taxes up here. I miss being a mermaid.
Right. Or it's like a green card situation where like if she divorces him, she loses her legs and becomes a mermaid again. And she doesn't want to.
So she's like
stuck, right?
She's like weighing the pros and cons.
Right.
Like, but honestly, like, I think if you were a mermaid and became a human, you would probably miss being a mermaid. Cause like, we could rewrite like the songs, like from like now that she knows what it's like on land and how much it actually sucks. Like,
so are you thinking like she's not happy because it's like
she has to be a human?
Well, right, but like
you're a human, you know what it's like.
Well, no, I know I'm a human in today's world, and I'm not a princess.
Well, yeah, right? I was thinking she's in today's world.
Okay, so she's somehow in today's because they were like more like 1800s or 7. Actually, I'm not sure when it's from. They've got like
I guess she wouldn't have to pay taxes if she's a princess.
Yeah, she's. They've got ships that seem like they must be at least the 17 or 1800s.
Okay, so Eric sucks. He's got no personality.
Yeah.
That becomes evident to her. And what else?
I don't know. This is bumming me out a little bit.
The the king and the queen don't really like the crab crawling around their castle all the time.
They keep throwing out the steel drums and they keep reappearing.
It turns out kissing Eric is not as magical without like a little crab singing in her ear.
Like all the little animals around singing or whatever.
Yeah. She's like, she was taken in by all the glitz and glamour.
Right.
Could Ursula come back somehow?
I mean, she certainly could.
She should,
She
probably.
could have some kind of magic way to come back, of course.
Yeah.
Can we add time travel to this somehow?
Yeah. I mean, I wanted them to be in today time, so
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it could be like what's that movie with Amy Adams where she's like a princess that suddenly is in New York or whatever?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
Enchanted or something? Maybe?
Yeah, Enchanted. I think that's right.
So it could be something like that. Maybe I was thinking.
So maybe their marriage sucks because Eric has become like he's just holed away in his room all the time, working on his time machine. He's trying to build this time machine.
Why is Eric building a time machine?
I mean, she just didn't get to know him before they got married. He's always been interested in time travel.
He's a big science nerd.
Yeah, he's always
from
been interested
the 1700s or something.
He's always been interested in time travel.
Interesting. I feel like time travel in like movies and stuff is always like it always reveals like you're stuck in the past or you can't be in the present, or it's like a character thing. So what is it about Eric? Why would he be stuck in the past or can't stand the present or whatever it is that makes him want to travel through time?
He doesn't like the current hairstyle trends.
Okay. So is this a time machine or is it like some kind of time travel magic? Because I feel like the magic would make more sense maybe in this setting.
Well, I didn't know that you wanted the movie to make sense. But I guess time travel magic, sure. He's but I do like the idea that like he's just obsessively like in his room trying to like figure out time travel.
I like the idea of him being obsessed with something, but I don't know if time travel feels like it's part of his character.
But you wanted time travel in the movie,
well, what if Ursula curses them with some kind of time travel?
Okay.
That
Why?
could maybe make sense.
Because she wants to steal the castle.
She wants to steal his butt. I was going to say his voice. I was like, well, she already did that.
Okay,
What
so
else could
now
she
we're
steal?
back to we don't want the movie to make sense anymore.
I never wanted the movie to make sense.
Okay.
It just has to have some kind of logic to it.
But logic.
Butt logic. No, she doesn't want to steal his butt. She's mad, right? She wants revenge.
She wants to steal all of his shoes.
For her tentacles.
She could be human.
She needs a lot of shoes.
She had no problem being human.
That's
She's
true.
magic. She could do whatever she wants.
But I
she
think it
could be a
makes-
creature that wears shoes.
No, but I'm saying as an octopus, she needs a lot of shoes. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like that goes with her character, right?
Stealing shoes.
Yeah. I feel like she's...
It's a little petty. I feel like she could probably acquire shoes somehow.
She likes his shoes.
I feel like she needs to steal souls and stuff, right? Like she's beyond
She
the level
is
of
stealing souls.
Oh. Wow. I walked right into that one. I put the shoes on and walked right into it. But you know what I mean? Like, is there a fish pun there as well? Probably. But
Probably.
no, like she's, I don't know. I feel like she's beyond petty larceny. I do think it would be good if she's wearing a lot of shoes for some reason. Maybe she steals all his shoes, but that's just a side thing,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Can she have a song about the shoes? Like, I'm picturing it along the lines of like Mr. Burns, See My Vest.
yeah, I'm
But
thinking
she's just like really obsessed with shoes for some reason.
I'm thinking it should be like a song about how evil she is and like she don't even care. She'll even steal all your shoes, right? Like it's not a big deal to her, but like fuck you, I'm taking your shoes.
Yeah.
Kind of like a song about like all the like she is petty, but like that's not her main thing. It's just like she also is petty,
Yeah.
right? Like she's here to somehow extract your soul or your voice or your, I don't know.
Okay, so why is
energy
she
or
sending
something.
them? Is she sending them back in time or forward in time?
Well, forward in time is kind of what you were already thinking about.
Right.
I don't know what backward in time would be. I feel like forward in time probably makes more sense, although it would be fun for her to send them back to dinosaur times, I guess.
I feel like it'll be funnier if they're like, because Ariel's already like a mermaid learning to be human, and now she's got to learn to be like
a future human.
A future human, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would make sense for them to come back or come up forward to like present day, 2024 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And why? Yeah. So why is she sending them forward in time? Does she want to steal Eric's castle? Is just straight up revenge?
Yeah, I mean, maybe she's sending them forward in time.
What's her whole plan?
Like maybe she's gonna steal their stuff, their castle and stuff. Maybe she's gonna steal their whole identities or something, and then I don't know, like she.
Maybe they just go to the future and they just have to get jobs. They don't get to be princess anymore.
Right, yeah. They're like hot dog vendors now or something. She changes them into hot dog vendors. I don't know why, but that's funny to me. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if this is it, but we're pretty much at our time.
Yeah. Oh, this definitely isn't it, but that's all right.
No, I feel like this sequels idea has got more to it, but we have to hit on the right movie to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that was the right one to do, although there's some fun stuff there.
There's some fun stuff there. Please send us your fan art of Ursula wearing all of Eric's shoes.
Many shoes. Or should she like steal all the butler's shoes? I feel like the butler would get really like Eric would be like, whatever, I'm fine, I'll walk around barefoot. But the butler would get really bent out of shape if all his shoes were stolen.
He steals all of. Did Eric have a mother?
Well, I mean, most people do.
No, I know, but in
I don't
the movie,
remember. I feel like he's got parents, but I don't know if we see him very much.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe she could steal all of his mom's shoes.
Maybe.
I feel like it would look better with like heels.
Well,
all the tentacles and heels.
Yeah, but it's like the 1700s, so his butler has all his shoes are heels too.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so I think that could be fine.
On that note, should I do our social media?
Yeah.
You can find all of our links to all of our social media on our website, which is coolpodcast.website. You can email us at ideas@coolpodcast.website. Please send us your ideas. We want to talk about them and give you a shout out. And we are also on Instagram at whatshouldpod. And you can check out our YouTube channel, What Should Our Podcast Be About? And that's it. That's all I got.
Welcome to What Should Our Outro Be About? The outro where we try to figure out what this outro that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm still here.
Nah, I'm also still here.
I have all I have for this outro is I found out about a weird lizard that I want to tell you about.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've got. Do you have any ideas?
I don't really. I was just going to be like, I could burp some more. I burped at the beginning of the episode.
Okay, I could or if you don't
hopefully
burp,
you edited it out.
Yeah, but I could edit it back in here.
You could edit it back in here. Excuse me. Yeah, I think your idea is probably better. Tell me about the weird lizard.
I don't know if it's enough for an outro, but all right. There is a lizard. Have you ever heard of this lizard? It's called a thorny devil.
No, but I like it already. Name, right? I like it already.
It's the wildest looking lizard I've ever seen. Look at this guy. He's what the name says. He's a thorny ass lizard.
Yeah. He's like, he looks like a bearded dragon, but like the Pokemon evolution of a bearded dragon.
Yeah. It's covered in spikes. Like
that picture actually kind of from here looks like an angry cat.
It's covered in so many spikes. It is like Spike City, this lizard. It's or thorns, I guess. But
wow.
Like it's like if you try to pick this lizard up, it looks like it's gonna prick you.
Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy looking.
Is a spiky ass lizard.
Yeah. That is a thorny little devil.
Yeah, it looks like a little thorny devil. They're kind of cute, I guess. This one's got kind of a paunch. Look at his face.
Oh, he's cute. He's so grumpy.
He looks like a grumpy lizard that's covered in
grumpy.
Spikes.
I love him.
Yeah, like he looks like what somebody would like draw or something if it was like take a lizard, but like it's a crazy fantasy lizard that's just covered in spikes, right? But I guess it's real. They're real little guys. Very spiky. Very spiky.
Yeah, you should Google thorny devil.
If you've never heard of or seen this lizard, you should definitely Google it because it's a cool, weird little guy.
You're welcome.
That's pretty much all I got as far as lizards go.
Oh, you don't have any more lizard facts?
I don't have
anything?
much more lizard facts. I think that guy might be technically an iguana. There's lots of lizards that are technically iguanas, including basilisks. Have you ever seen basilisk lizards?
You said you didn't have any more lizard
I do have
facts.
some more lizard facts, I guess. Have you ever seen basilisks?
I believe so.
They got like crazy like helmets, basically, like crests and stuff on their heads. There's also a bunch of lizards in the iguana family that can like run on water, which is cool.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Or the like frilly lizard neck thing that like the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park is based on is one of those.
Yep.
They're pretty cool.
I feel like I've seen an image of one of those actually running across the water too.
Maybe, yeah.
You got any more lizard facts for me?
I just decided to Google craziest lizards in the hopes that some more good stuff would come up. We got that frilly guy. We got a basilisk. We got another one of those frilly guys. Oh, actually, chameleons are probably the weirdest lizard, actually.
Okay.
I mean, so they've got the weird changing color thing, which if you don't know, they don't actually change the color to blend in with stuff. They change based on their mood. They're like mood ring lizards, actually.
Yeah.
They've got their eyelids are fused together. So they've just got that one little hole that the pupil looks out of.
Yeah, that's weird. That's crazy.
And they can point them in different directions and see all around them.
Yeah.
Their hands are bonkers because they've got their hands and feet because they've got like 4 toes or whatever, 5, maybe 4 or 5 toes or whatever, but they're fused together so they basically have 2 toes, right?
Yeah.
And the toes are like backwards from each other. I think the front ones like have this, there's like, I think it's like 2 and 3 are fused, right? So it's like 3 on one side and 2 on the other to make 2 big toes, right? But I think the front pair is like the 2 is facing inward, and on the back pair, the 3 is facing inward or something. I don't know, it's weird. They're just weird. They got tails that curl downwards, and they can hang from them.
Like
they
got little spirals.
Their tongue is like 3 times as long as the rest of their body, or as their whole body, right? Like they can catch bugs or whatever by flicking their tongues out. I don't know. I guess
you said you didn't have any lizard facts.
I guess I had some lizard facts.
That was a lie. You had so many lizard facts.
I had some lizard facts. So I guess lizard facts is the outro this time. Do you have any lizard facts?
I had a lizard once, a leopard gecko.
Mm-hmm. You did have some lizard facts last time, or one of the times recently where we talked about their tails.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
I guess that was the tails episode.
Yeah. I have kind of a sad lizard fact.
Okay.
Which is that a lot of times people use sand substrate for leopard geckos.
Uh-huh.
And you shouldn't do that. I learned, I had my leopard gecko for like 10 years.
Okay.
And it passed away from sand impaction because they slowly like get sand buildup in their digestive tract and then they can't eat anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That is how I learned that you should not.
Don't use sand.
Don't use sand. Don't use sand substrate.
Huh.
Even if it's the kind that's supposed to be digestible, it doesn't fully digest.
I had pet lizards as a kid, actually. I had lizards in sequence, not at the same time. So I had one lizard and then it died, and I got another lizard and then it died, and my parents were like, maybe no more lizards.
What kind of lizards?
They were iguanas, like whatever the basic kind of like little green iguanas are.
So they didn't ever get big?
They never got big. I didn't have them for very long. I don't know if I just didn't feed them. Like, I mean, I know now that I have ADHD, so I very well could be that I just wasn't paying attention to time and didn't feed them often enough or something like that. I don't know.
A lot of times when you get reptiles at like chain pet stores too, like they're not
super healthy.
Yeah. Like I got a Chinese water dragon, which look a lot like iguanas, but they're cuter, much cuter.
Okay.
Anyway, it developed what's called mouth rot.
That sounds bad.
So they are not very smart. So they will like see their reflection in the glass and think it's another lizard. And no matter how many times they bump up against the glass, they don't figure it out or learn. So when I got this lizard, it had like a bald spot on its nose from rubbing its nose against the glass. So it had probably like that. Them doing that repeatedly is what causes the mouth rot. So it probably already had it when I got it.
Yeah.
So it did not live very long.
Yeah, that's a bummer. My story about the lizard, one of the lizards I had was I had it out of its little thing, its little terrarium or whatever. And my sister was in my room and she really wanted to hold it. So I let her hold it. 2 seconds after it got into her hands, it jumped out the window.
Oh, no.
Second story window. It was fine, actually. It was completely fine. It just landed. Because, I mean, they're so little that they don't actually have a lot of mass. So cats can fall off of 20-story buildings and survive, right?
Yeah.
So And this lizard obviously was way smaller than a cat. So it was actually totally fine, but it was just like, oh my God. Like I let you hold it for 1 second
Yeah.
and it jumps out the window. It just landed on the porch in the back and I went and got it and it was fine. It died not super long after that, but it didn't seem like that was why.
Yeah, this just reminded me that like that's a recurring dream I have sometimes of just like
Throwing a lizard out a window?
no, forgetting to feed a pet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it was or what. Like, but I think with both lizards, my recollection is it was just like one day I woke up and went to look at the lizard and it wasn't moving anymore, kind of thing. So I don't know what it was, but I hope I didn't starve him to death because that's really sad. If so, that would make me feel pretty bad.
I mean, I feel like that would be more on your parents than on you.
Yeah, I mean, it lived in my room.
Because like if your kid gets a pet, as a parent, you have a pet.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it is. You can't expect a kid to like take that completely take that responsibility.
Yeah.
Like it's a living creature, so you got to make sure it's staying alive.
Yeah, my parents definitely weren't paying attention to that kind of stuff. So
to end on a little bit of a more fun note, do you want to know what the name of my Chinese water dragon was?
Sure. Boney Soprano.
Eddie Lizard.
Eddie Lizard. Okay. That's pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Pretty good. It would have been funnier, though, if it was Boney Soprano for no apparent reason.
Yeah, for no reason.
All right. Shall we be done then?
Yep.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed those lizard facts and our sort of half attempt at some more sequel ideas and our other stuff as well in this episode. I hope you enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed all of it and that you come back again next week.
Yeah, come back again next week. Maybe it'll be better.
Maybe we'll be talking about your ideas.
Yeah, send us ideas. We probably already said that. I think we already did.
We did.
But do send them.
But please do. Please.
All right. Thanks for listening. We're sorry and we won't do better next time.
Bye.
Bye. What was that podcast about? I'm trying to figure it out. Didn't catch what that was about.